The Coinage Act of 1965 states that Federal Reserve notes are for all debts, public and private, not dollars. Why do people state that the dollars are the money when the law clearly states the Federal Reserve notes are for all debts, public and private? Why didn't this law state dollars are for all debts, public and private? I showed you in my previous videos that the word dollar in the Coinage Act of 1792, Section 20, was an expression of the money, not the money. Dollars are not the money. Gold and silver were the money in this law. Here's the law. You can look it up. The few people that wrote this law knew that an expression of the money cannot be the money. Most of the people did not understand this. This is not in our economic textbooks. That's partly why. The Coinage Act of 1965 states that United States coins, currency, and Federal Reserve notes and circulating notes are legal tender for all debts, public and private, not dollars. The paper money that circulated was the gold certificates and silver certificates. They were redeemable in money. Silver and gold was the money. Gold certificates circulated up to 1933, silver certificates up to 1965. What are today's Federal Reserve notes redeemable in? Nothing. Nothing at all. The Federal Reserve notes are not a dollar and are not redeemable in anything or dollars. Then why do people say Federal Reserve notes are a dollar if they are not a dollar and are not redeemable in anything? Federal Reserve notes are dollars of what? Silver and gold? No. People exchange Federal Reserve notes for goods and services, but they have no redeemable value in themselves, but are worthless pieces of paper that the Congress forced the people to accept in the Coinage Act of 1965. The Federal Reserve notes do not have purchasing power, only the power by edict of government to force you to use them to settle debt. The Federal Reserve notes do not have purchasing power, even though you exchange things, you don't purchase things with them. They're not anything. They're nothing. You're not using them to purchase something. The continental dollar was worthless in 1775, yet today people don't understand the difference between a worthless Federal Reserve note and a worthless continental dollar. This is why there's a $39 trillion debt. Look up the US debt clock. The public doesn't understand what's going on. They don't have a clue. We had the money, gold and silver, and it was ours. We brought it to the mint in Philadelphia to be minted. We owned it. Today, the commercial banks are involved in fraud with illegal tender laws. Next time you sign a loan document at the commercial bank, you will see that the bank only loans you a pen to put your signature on the promissory note. A promissory note is a loan document. Think for a minute. A bank can't loan you an expression of the money. It's time for people to understand this subject more clear. Thank you.